For our second story tonight, we are going to look at the 90-year-old Democratic senator from the state of California. She is currently in her sixth term in the Senate, her sixth six-year term, and that is Dianne Feinstein. She has a term that extends to 2024. It has been very clear for quite some time. She is unable to know where she is. We showed you the video before when she was gone with shingles for several months, and Democrats were outraged because her vote is the vote that enables them to confirm judges on the Judiciary Committee, and with her gone, they were unable to do so. Things were at a standstill. And a lot of Democrats are saying, get rid of her. There's a Democratic governor in California who will replace her. But between her not wanting to leave her aristocratic post, which she believes is a lifelong title to which she's entitled for as long as she wants it, which apparently is until the day she dies, and the fact that the Democratic establishment is petrified that Gavin Newsom, who has promised to appoint a black woman to that seat, will probably appoint Barbara Lee, the longtime House member who's running in a primary for that Senate seat in 2024 against Adam Schiff. And the entire Democratic establishment wants Adam Schiff in that seat, the white man, and knows that if Barbara Lee, the black woman, is appointed, she will become the incumbent, be much more difficult to beat. They don't want Feinstein to leave. They don't care about whether California voters are served, obviously. That's not the game they're playing. Now, why Democratic Party leaders can just so openly try and block a black woman from getting that seat in order to keep a white man, make sure a white man gets in there, is your explanation is as good as mine. Obviously, if the ideology was reversed and they wanted the black man and the American left wanted the black woman, and the American left wanted the white man, they would accuse them of being racist and misogynist the way they did to supporters of Bernie Sanders who were told they were misogynist for opposing Hillary Clinton, but they exempt themselves from that accusatory framework at will. You don't need me to explain that. That's the rule of the game. Now, we showed you Dianne Feinstein. She got back from being away for months from the Senate with shingles. And when she got back, a reporter asked her, what was it like to be gone? Are you happy to be back? And she was enraged. She was in a wheelchair being wheeled around. And she said, I wasn't gone. What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time. Because she thought she was. She didn't remember that she had been gone for months. And now here's a video where there was a roll call vote on a bill to increase military spending and to approve the military budget. And Dianne Feinstein, who has been doing this for 35 years, was supposed to just say yes. She was supposed to vote yes. And she didn't know where she was. She couldn't do that, so she started babbling. And watch what happened.
Then there's this moment that just happened in a committee meeting today where she seems to need help to vote in that committee meeting. Here is that moment.
Senator Feinstein. Say aye.
Now, let me just say the context here is they were calling the names of every senator, and every senator on the committee was just saying aye or nay, like they always do when they vote. So they got to Dianne Feinstein, and this is what happened.
Say aye. Pardon me? Aye.
Yeah.
So there's her staffer saying, just say aye. And she said, pardon me? And the staffer said, just say aye. Just say yes. You're voting yes. Just say yes. And Dianne Feinstein heard that and said, yeah. And then this is what she proceeded to do.
Say aye. Pardon me? Aye.
Yeah.
Just say
I would like to support a yes vote on this. It provides $823 billion. That's an increase of $26 billion for the Department of Defense. And it funds priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just
Aye.
aye.
So that's a part in that committee meeting where they vote on various measures of legislation. You saw what looks like a male staff member go over to the senator because instead of voting, the senator begins what appear to be prepared remarks. And then Patty Murray, a fellow Democrat and the chair of that committee, tells Senator Feinstein to just say aye. And that's what the senator does. So another concerning moment for a lawmaker here caught on camera.
Another concerning moment. Just a concerning moment, meaning she has no idea where she is, what she's saying, what she's doing. And I think it's so telling, in a way, just sweet justice, that she was eager to start talking about the importance and the nobility of giving another $26 billion to the Pentagon. Here, you already have $830 billion a year. Here's another $850 billion. She's like, I'm proud to give another $26 billion to our Defense Department. So I hope you're comfortable with a person who has no idea what she's doing being a major decision maker and just throwing hundreds of billions of dollars around. That's pretty much what Dianne Feinstein has been doing her entire life, which is serving the CIA, being its most steadfast supporter on the Senate Intelligence Committee, urging greater and greater military spending and war spending. Of course, she voted for the Iraq War. She's been a supporter of almost every war in her history in the Senate, while her husband was profiteering as a military contractor, making lots of money on many of her votes. Now, the New York Times, the media has kind of been out for blood because I think that the embarrassment of this is so manifest, it's so flagrant that it makes them uncomfortable. So here in the New York Times this week is a profile about Dianne Feinstein's family fighting over her family fortune. And it provides a little bit insight into who Dianne Feinstein is and the great working class heroes the Democratic Party has in their ranks, and the fact that from the perspective of Dianne Feinstein's children and the children of her third husband, she's is basically gone because they're already fighting over her money the way really dysfunctional and morally broken families do when people die and they start fighting over their wealth in court. And that's exactly what's happening to Dianne Feinstein, even though she's not technically dead. Now, I don't take joy in talking about any of this, but the reality is that if she's going to continue to remain in the Senate and perform these functions, it is worth commenting. In fact, it's urgent to comment on what this says about our ruling class, the fact that this is what they do. So I wish Dianne Feinstein would just go away, take care of herself, have her health attended to, and have the kind of life that you ought to have in the last stage of your life, where you're being with your family, where you're reflecting on your life. She won't give up this status as senator and all the power that comes with it. So here's what the New York Times reported. As Dianne Feinstein, 90, struggles to function in the Senate, a dispute within her family over control of her late husband's estate is another difficult chapter at the end of a long career. Quote, for years, Senator Dianne Feinstein of California has been engaged in a long and painful public drama about her health and ability to do her job as she winds down a storied career as a lawmaker and former mayor of San Francisco. Now, Senator Feinstein is also navigating an increasingly bitter legal and financial conflict that pits her and her daughter, Catherine Feinstein, against the three daughters of her late husband, Richard C. Bloom, who was a wealthy financier. In one legal dispute, the family is fighting over what's described as Senator Feinstein's desire to sell a beach house in an exclusive neighborhood of Stinson Beach, north of San Francisco. In another disagreement, the two factions are at odds over access to the proceeds of Mr. Bloom's life insurance, which Senator Feinstein says she needs to pay for her growing medical expenses. Raised in affluence, shocking, a Democratic Party leader who was raised in affluence, that's so rare. Senator Feinstein has long been among the wealthiest members of Congress. She was rich in her own right in 1980 when she married Mr. Bloom. After she entered the Senate, she placed securities into a blind trust that is valued at between $5 and $25 million, according to her most recent financial disclosures required of lawmakers. Combined, the couple's fortunes flourished to an extent that eclipsed even the senator's prior standard of living. Her main residence is a 9,500 square foot mansion in the upscale San Francisco neighborhood of Pacific Heights. Their vacation homes until recently included the 36-acre Bear Paw Ranch in Aspen, Colorado, which sold in March for more than $25 million, and a 7-bedroom Lake Tahoe compound that sold in late 21 for a reported $36 million. Current holdings include a property on the Hawaii island of Kauai and a home in Washington, D.C. Catherine Feinstein, 66, Senator Feinstein's only child, who has power of attorney over her mother's legal affairs. That is something that we did not know. That is really remarkable if you think about it. Dianne Feinstein's daughter, who's 66, that's the gerontocracy we live in. These people's children are almost 70. Dianne Feinstein's daughter, Catherine Feinstein, her only child, has power of attorney over her mother's legal affairs. Why? Why can't Dianne Feinstein manage her own legal affairs? Because she's mentally incompetent to do so. And yet they're keeping her propped up in the Senate. Patty Murray's telling her how to vote. She doesn't know when to vote. She doesn't know where she is. And they just keep her there, confirming nominees to the judiciary, all the constitutional functions she's supposed to exercise to make government run. And she can't manage her own life. Her daughter has a power of attorney over her own affairs. It's sad, but from the perspective of public life, it's pathetic that every Democrat is fine with this. The first lawsuit over the beach house says the property is in disrepair, that Senator Feinstein no longer wishes to use it, and that she wants to sell it this summer or fall. The suit also accused Mr. Bloom's daughters of seeking to use the beach house at Senator Feinstein's expense and to limit her ability to sell off parts of the trust in order to increase the value of their inheritance. After Senator Feinstein, it's amazing to me that they're fighting over her money as though she's dead, because I presume they believe that's imminent. Although Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Hillary Clinton are praying she holds on long enough to complete her term so that Gavin Newsom doesn't appoint Barbara Lee and endanger Adam Schiff's Senate candidacy. That's how ghoulish these people are. Imagine treating all of this way, as just a power game. And you just keep this 90-year-old woman who's ailing and mentally incompetent propped up like some toy, like some prop. All because you want to keep Barbara Lee out of the Senate for whatever reasons and ensure that Adam Schiff gets that spot. And who cares about the country or California or whether, none of that matters to these people at all. This is real late empire ruling class decay, just in its tawdriest and most explicit form. Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.